of the sixth. ready to take the field. Going to go over the lineups for both teams. First, for your visiting Washington Wild Things. The Wild Things enter this one with a record of 29-26, led by their manager Greg Langben. They'll lead off with their second baseman, Jamadric Magruder. Batting second, designated hitter Ricky Rodriguez. Hitting third in center field, Chris Grayson. Batting fourth, right fielder Dave Popkins. Hitting fifth and catching, Zach Fish. Batting sixth at first base, Jimmy Yezzo. Hitting seventh at third, Grant Fink. Batting eighth in left field, Andrew Heck. And batting ninth at shortstop, Austin Wobrock. On the mound for your Wild Things tonight is starting pitcher Chase Cunningham. Cunningham enters this one with a record of 3-5 and a 3.78 ERA. For the Southern Illinois Miners, they line up like this. They come into the game with a record of 39-17, led by their manager Mike Pinto. They'll lead off with their center fielder Aaron Gates. Batting second, designated hitter Shane Kennedy. Hitting third at second base, Craig Massey. Batting fourth, first baseman Alex De Leon. Batting fifth in right field, Nolan Early. Hitting sixth at third, Steve Marino. Batting seventh in left field, Kurt Wirtz Jr. Batting eighth behind the plate, Riley Moore. And batting ninth in at shortstop, Francisco Rosario. On the mound for the Southern Illinois Miners is Jarrett Miller. Miller 4-2 with a 3.04 ERA. The same matchup that we had last Sunday when Chase Cunningham turned in that poor start, went 4 innings, gave up 7 runs, all earned, 7 hits, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Jarrett Miller wasn't as good met, so they're trying to reverse the curse and win here at Rent One Park. Last year when the Wild Things came here to Rent One Park, they lost 2 out of 3 games, so look to win the series here tonight. Game 1 of the 3-game series, and we are getting ready for the national anthem here from Rent One Stadium. Right now we're going to send you down to the field for the playing of that national anthem. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
time, we would like you to please rise and remove your hats. Tonight, we would like to take a moment to remember the life of a very special Miners fan who recently lost his life. Our hearts and prayers go out to the family of Larry Basin. Larry was a 10-year season ticket holder with the Miners and the father to our very own host, Mother Michelle Baxter. At this time, we ask that you please take a moment of silence in his memory. Thank you. Now at this time, please remain standing and face the flag located in center field for our national anthem. Tonight, singing the national anthem is Casey Puckett.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Pat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Warehouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store. And coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. If the little ones need a break, head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, ready for baseball here in Game 1 of this 3-game series. The Southern Illinois Miners take the field like this. They line up outfield left to right. It's Kurt Wirtz Jr., Aaron Gates, and Nolan Early. Left side of the infield held down by Steve Marino and Francisco Rosario. Right side held down by Craig Massey and Alex De Leon. Behind the plate, Riley Moore. Catching today's starting pitcher, Jarrett Miller. Miller enters this one with a record of 4-2 at 3.04, appearing in his 13th game, making his 13th start. He's thrown 74 innings of work, giving up 28 runs, 25 earned on 76 hits, 52 strikeouts, and 24 walks for the righty. The lineup thrown out by manager Greg Langben looks like this. They'll lead off with their second baseman, Jamadric Magruder. Batting second, designated hitter Ricky Rodriguez. Hitting third in center field, Chris Grayson. Batting fourth and right, Dave Popkins. Behind the plate, making his Wild Things debut, Zach Fish. Batting sixth at first base, Jimmy Yezzo. Batting seventh at third, Grant Fink. Hitting eighth in left field, Andrew Heck. And batting ninth at shortstop is Austin Wobrock. Your Wild Things starter for today is Chase Cunningham. Cunningham enters this one with a record of 3-5 and a 3.87 ERA. Jarrett Miller going through his warm-up toss. As we said, his last time out was against your Washington Wild Things. He gave up 4 runs in 6 2/3 innings of work. So we'll see if the Wild Things can get to him early here. Looking at Miller's numbers, he does give up quite a few hits, as he's given up 76 hits in 74 innings of work. So we'll see if the Wild Things can take advantage of that and take advantage when they have men on base. Jamadric Magruder making his way to the plate to lead things off here in the top of the first. Magruder enters this one with a average of .320, 1 home run, and 4 RBIs. Just about ready for baseball here from Rent One Park in Marion, Illinois. You're listening to the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Miller's first pitch is on the ground to first. De Leon has it, flips on to Miller, and 1 pitch, 1 away here in the top of the first as Magruder's retired, and that'll bring to the plate designated hitter Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez on the year, currently hitting .301, 5 home runs, and 21 RBIs. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Jarrett Miller. Magruder swinging at the first pitch and grounding it to De Leon over there at first base. Rodriguez in as the designated hitter. His second game as the DH in the last 3 games. He played DH in Game 2 of the doubleheader against River City and then was at third base last night, back in that DH spot tonight. Miller set in the pitch, and Rodriguez takes this one inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count on Ricky Rodriguez. Wild Things swept last time by the Southern Illinois Miners. Trying to reverse that today, though. 1-0, and this one's hit to center field. Going back is Gates, and he'll make the catch, and that is out number 2. So it takes just 3 pitches to retire the first 2 Wild Things batters here in the top of the first, and that'll bring up the center fielder, Chris Grayson. Grayson on the years hitting .283, 1 home run, and 6 RBIs. 2 outs top of the first, just underway here from Rent One Park in Marion, Illinois. Game 1 of 3 between your Washington Wild Things and the Southern Illinois Miners. Grayson coming to the plate, drove in a run in yesterday's ball game. It was his 6th RBI of the season. Miller has his sign. Here's the pitch, and Grayson takes this one in the outside corner for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Your umpires for tonight's ball game. Behind home plate, Chris Diekman, and on the bases, Andy Dodonis. The 0-1, and that one's in the dirt by Riley Moore, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Tony DeMello still on the DL for the Southern Illinois Miners. So Riley Moore, the primary catcher. Alex De Leon has caught the last 2 games for Southern Illinois. He's the backup over at first base. Looking in is Jarrett Miller. Miller has his sign and the pitch on the way. And Grayson takes this one high for a ball, so the count goes to 2 balls and a strike. Grayson ahead of the count here against Jarrett Miller. And that's what you want to do if you're the Wild Things. Work ahead of the count, swing at your pitches, don't chase what Jarrett Miller's throwing. Here's the 2-1, and that one's outside for a ball. 3 balls and a strike. 3-1 to count to Chris Grayson. 2 men out here in the top of the first. The Wild Things have sent 4 batters to the plate in each of their last 3 games, but have not recorded their first hit until the 5th in the last 2. And now Grayson hits this one deep to center field. Gates going back to the track, and he'll make the catch for out number 3. So 1-2-3 go your Wild Things in the first. After half an inning of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things nothing, Southern Illinois Miners come to bat. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. PALCS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. PALCS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to PALCS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School, lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the first, and the score, your Washington Wild Things nothing, Southern Illinois Miners coming to the plate. Your Wild Things aligned defensively like this, and the outfield left to right, Andrew Heck, Chris Grayson, and Dave Popkins. Left side of the infield held down by Grant Fink and Austin Wolbrock. Right side by Jamadrick Magruder and Jimmy Yezo, and behind the plate is catcher Zach Fish. Catching starting pitcher Chase Cunningham. Cunningham enters this one with a record of 3-5, a 3.78 ERA, appearing in his 11th game, making his 11th start. Has thrown 57 innings of work, giving up 25 runs, 24 earned on 52 hits, 14 walks, and 26 strikeouts on the season for the Wild Things right-hander. The lineup he'll face tonight for Southern Illinois looks like this. They'll lead off with their center fielder, Aaron Gates. Batting second, designated hitter, Shane Kennedy. Hitting third at second base, Craig Massey. Batting fourth at first base, Alex De Leon. Hitting fifth in right field, Nolan Early. In the sixth spot, third baseman Steve Marino. Batting seventh in left field, Kurt Wirtz Jr. Batting eighth and catching, Riley Moore. And batting ninth at shortstop, Francisco Rosario. On the mound for the Miners, as you saw, is Jarrett Miller. Miller enters this one with a record of 4-2 and a 3.04 ERA. Chase Cunningham last time out was against the Southern Illinois Miners on Sunday. Had his worst start of the year. Went 4 innings, gave up 7 runs, all earned in that outing. So he'll look to get back on track here this evening. Aaron Gates making his way to the plate to lead things off in the bottom of the first. And we are ready for baseball here in this home half of the first. Score, your Wild Things nothing, and the Southern Illinois Miners coming to bat. Now, the first 2 games of that series with Southern Illinois were both rather close. Wild Things losing 4-2 in Game 1 and losing 4-3 in Game 2. And even Game 3, even though Southern Illinois at one point had an 11-0 lead, the Wild Things fought back and made it an 11-7 score. So still not that big of a blowout. The Wild Things played these Miners tough, but could not pick up a win at Consol Energy Park. We'll see what happens this time around at Rent One Park. Cunningham has his sign, the pitch to Gates. And Gates takes his first one at the knees for a strike. No balls and a strike. Gates enters today hitting .307, 6 home runs, and 33 RBIs. Bottom of the first, no score. Cunningham has his sign. Here's the 0-1. And that one's low for a ball, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. For Chase Cunningham, the key for him is work low in the zone. He's a ground ball pitcher, won't strike out many batters, as he only has 26 strikeouts and 57 innings of work. This next pitch lined on the right field line, and that's a base hit. Gates rounding first, heading to second. Popkins fields it. His throw into second is strong, but not in time, and it's a leadoff double for Aaron Gates. So a runner in scoring position. Nobody out here for Southern Illinois to start the game, and that's not what you wanted to see from Cunningham. That ball hit hard by Gates down the right field line. Landed well in fair territory. Popkins having to go over and field it. He had a strong throw into second. Unfortunately, not in time to get Aaron Gates. So there's a runner at second, nobody out for Southern Illinois, and that brings up their designated hitter, Shane Kennedy. Kennedy on the season is currently, hitting .317 with 2 home runs and 21 RBIs. Aaron Gates starts the game off for the Miners with a double down the right field line. He stands on second base. Cunningham looking into fish. Cunningham has his sign. He's set. Checks Gates at second, and the pitch. And that one's a called strike on the outside corner. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Cunningham tried to shake that off and strand Gates right at second base. Grant Fink playing in on the grass over at his third base position. Everyone else at about normal depth. Cunningham has his sign, the 0-1, and that one swung on a miss. Count goes to no balls and 2 strikes on Shane Kennedy. Wild Things only saw Kennedy once in their 3-game series back at Consol Energy Park, as he sat out the first 2 games and was the designated hitter in Game 3 of that series. Cunningham looks in, has his sign, checks Gates at second, and the 0-2. And this ball fouled away back into the stands, so the count will remain no balls and 2 strikes. Cunningham, not a guy who's going to work around a lot of people, only 14 walks and 57 innings of work, so he attacks the strike zone, but there's a lot of contact made against him, and he usually keeps it low in the zone, so as an infielder, you got to be ready for ground balls all day long. Cunningham has his sign, he's set, checks Gates, and the 0-2. And that one's high for a ball. This count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kennedy doesn't offer at that pitch above the letters. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. Aaron Gates starting this inning off with a double. He stands at second base. Cunningham looks in, has his sign, checks Gates at second, and the 1-2. And this ball lined into center field. Grayson giving chase. He's going to get to it. Gates is going to be waved to the plate. He's going to score without a throw. Grayson's throwing to second, and it's not in time. Shane Kennedy in there with an RBI double, and Southern Illinois takes a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first. Gates scores on the Kennedy RBI. For Kennedy, that is RBI number 22 on the year. Southern Illinois taking the early 1-0 lead here over Chase Cunningham, and that'll send to the plate second baseman Craig Massey. Massey on the year currently hitting .327, 5 home runs, and 27 RBIs. So nobody out, runner at second, 1-0. Southern Illinois Miners leading over your Wild Things. Cunningham left those 2 pitches up, the double by Gates, now the double by Kennedy, and it's cost him. Here's the pitch, and Massey showing bunt. He'll take this one outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 count on the Southern Illinois Miners second baseman. Miners a 1-0 lead early on in this one here in the bottom of the first. Cunningham has his sign. He's set. Checks second in the 1-0. And that ball lined back towards the press box. It goes foul, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on Craig Massey. Rent One Park out here in Marion, Illinois. 320 down the line in left. The big notch out there in left center field, 419. 400 is straightaway center. 375 down the right center field. And down the right field line, 335. Cunningham has his sign, checks second, throw back. And getting in there is Shane Kennedy. Kennedy on the year currently has no stolen bases in 54 games. Or excuse me, has 10 stolen bases in 54 games out there at second base. Cunningham has his sign, checks Kennedy, and the 1-1. And this ball lined back to the screen, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Chase Cunningham still looking for the first out in this game, as the first 2 men hit back-to-back doubles to lead things off. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. If you're Cunningham, got to limit the damage here. In this first inning, and give your team a chance to stay in this ball game. You do not want things to snowball on you early. Cunningham looks in, has his sign, he's set, checks second, and the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And that one's low for a Outs runner at first for Southern Illinois. Here in the bottom of the second, Cunningham has his sign. He's set. On the outside. And just in time to get Grant Fink a One foul off to the right, to the left. The count will remain 1 ball and 2 strikes. Andrew Heck was a bench player at the beginning of this year, then got some regular playing time after the retirement of Jamal Austin, played regularly out in center field. Also got some time in left after Nick playing again interchangeably with Grant Fink. Miller has his sign, the 1-2, and Heck lines this one right to shortstop, handled by Rosario on the bounce, throw to first, and that's in time for out 2. A rocket by Andrew Heck, but walks, first man to reach base for the Wild Things on the day. Miller going from the stretch for the first time tonight. Miller has his sign, throw over to first, and Wobrock's back in there. Wobrock currently tied and there were on. Rosario would walk up the second on a stolen base. has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. And that one's in there at the letters for a strike. No balls and a strike. Via the leadoff walk. Second walk of the day for Chase Cunningham, and that'll bring to the plate second baseman Chris Massey. Massey so far 0 for 1 on the day. Came into today hitting .327, and that .327 average currently good for first on this Southern Illinois Miners team. Out bottom of the third, 2-0 Southern Illinois leading over your Washington Wild Things. Cunningham looks in, checks first, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch. And Massey takes this one in the dirt low for a ball. No strikes. 1-0 the count. 2 walks today for Chase Cunningham. Not very characteristic of him, as we said, only 14 walks, 67 innings of work this season. 2 walks out here. Normally a guy who's very consistent in hitting the strike. These last 2 starts especially have been bumps in the road, as we said. He walked 3 men last time he faced Southern Illinois. Over to first, and Shane Kennedy back in there ahead of the tag of Jimmy Yezzo. play by Jimmy Yezzo, robbing extra bases and holding those second and third with 2 outs. That'll bring to the plate the third baseman, Steve Marino. Marino so far over on a diving. Yezzo robbed down the line and taking 2 RBIs off. Setting to up here, Ricky Rodriguez, Chris Grayson, and Dave Popkins, 2, 3, and 4 pitch. And that one's on the outside corner for a strike, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count, bad base running there for Southern Illinois. It turned a good situation into a bad situation. Throw over to first, and Riley gets back in there for Riley Moore. Kurt Wirtz Jr. thrown out as he took a big turnaround third. Wolbrock a heads-up play, firing over to Fink and getting the out over there. Cunningham has his sign. Here's the pitch. And this one swung on and missed by Rosario. No balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 average coming into this one. 1 of 2 Rosario.
Wild things.
Out there. Millard has his sign. And Wolbrock diving, getting back in. As we said, 5 stolen bases on the year for Austin Wolbrock. Tied for the team lead. Himself and Chris Grayson each have 5 on the season for your Wild Things. Miller has his sign. He's set. And the pitch. And Magruder to left field. Coming on is Kurt Wirtz Jr., and he'll make the catch. That is out number 3. No runs in the inning on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. And after 4.5, the score, Southern Illinois 2, your Washington Wild Things nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfect bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn's to be one of the stops.
For you, jumping on the board, first inning, Aaron Gates and Shane Kennedy back singled. Austin Wolbrock hit into a field, and Jamadric Magruder flew out that inning. And then we got to the bottom of the 5th, and the lights are out here at Rent 1. Still have not come on. The lights are on, as well as the switches. They're trying to figure out how to...
ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial...
Buck, come support your Wild Things all season long. For tickets, go... And in the top, Florence Freedom... At Slammers. While we're in this delay, waiting for the lights to come back on, going to take a look at the upcoming schedule for your Washington Wild. They'll return home July 26th to the 28th to take on the normal Cultures. Then they'll start a big 10-day road trip as they'll go to Florence for 3, July 29th through the 31st. Then August 2nd through the 4th, they will be at Evansville. And August 5th through the 7th, they'll be at River City. Then they'll return home August 9th through the 11th to take on the Lake Erie Crushers. You can hear all those games right here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. We are currently in a light delay as the power went out between the bottom of the 5th and the top of the top of the 5th and the bottom of the 5th. And momentarily the whole stadium lost power. Right now the booth and the suite levels all have power. So does the main concourse and the scoreboard. But unfortunately the lights are not on at Rent 1 Park, and the players cannot see to continue this game. It's currently 2-0 Southern Illinois in the bottom half of the 5th inning. It technically is a full game. I don't know if they would call this game due to not being able to get the lights back on. And we do see some Wild Things players running on the field, running out towards the bullpen. They are waiting for the lights to come back on here. Players stretching from both clubs. So we are in a delay here. 2-0 Southern Illinois leads this one. While we have some time, let's going to take a look at the standings here in both divisions, since the Wild Things from the Frontier League East and the Southern Illinois. So we are in a delay here. Southern Illinois leads this one. While we have some Frontier League East with a record of 30-26, then your both divisions, since the Wild Things from the Frontier League East and the Southern Illinois back of those Joliet Slammers. Then the Lake Erie Crushers, 27-28. They've been on a surge lately, rising all the way from the 5th place spot in the Frontier League East all the way up to the 3rd place spot. They're 2.5 back at 27-28. Then the Windy City Thunderbolts, who were leading this division for most of the year to begin the season, are now in 4th place, 27-30. They're 3.5 back. Then the Schaumburg Boomers sit in 5th at 26 and 30. Rent 1 Park. We have stayed with you through this against the Southern Illinois career start on 4 innings. You have 7 for the 9-game road trip. So come on out and see your Wild Things end the month of July at Consol Energy Park. Gates making his way to lead things at the bottom of the 5th. Back from a late as we are ready for baseball. Miners leading 2-0. Gates so far on the night is 1 for 2. Doubled and scored a run in the first. And out in inning number 2. Stepping up to face Chase Cunningham. Cunningham has his sign. Here's the pitch. And that one's outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 85 degrees here at Rent 1 Park. Cunningham, but taken by Craig Massey for a strike. So no balls and a strike here on Craig Massey. Massey currently leads team 327 batting average. Cunningham looks in. He's set, checks second. And the 0-1. And that one bounces up to the plate. Back Fish behind home plate, and the count goes to 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kyle Pollock, known for defensive ability behind the plate for the Wild Things. Stretch of 5 straight caught stealings under his belt. Zach Fish making his Wild Things debut here in this one tonight. 2 men have stolen on him. Low for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. 3-1. 1 second. Pitch swung. Runner at third is Shandy. Runner at second is Craig Massey. Both walked. So they have 2 men on without the courtesy of a hit. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Nick Nolan Early, the on-deck man for the Miners. Cunningham looks in. Has his sign. He's set. Checks the runner at third. And the 3-2. And this one fouled back. Checks third. The 3-2. And this ball lined on the left field line. And this one hang and it'll go foul. Another foul ball. 4 straight foul balls now for Alex Dillon as he's back. It's a 2 RBI double. Leone and Southern.
For your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors choose the ProGrass Performance. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred. Call ProGrass.
RBI double, driving in both Kennedy and Massey and giving the Miners this 4-0 lead. Coming to the plate now in the bottom of the 5th. 1 out, runner at second will be Nolan Early. Early so far 1 for 2. Single in the first, out in inning number 3. 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Second straight start that Chase Cunningham has gone less than 5 innings in a start. Colin Stanley coming in to relieve him here in this one. Stanley looks in. Sign, he's set. Checks second. On 6 hits, walked 6. And struck out none. It's at 8-6, 4-5-6. Wild. Washington Wild. 2 men and striking out nobody in his outing so far. But we'll see. The top of the 5th inning ended at 9:35 Eastern Time. And with that 20-minute delay to the 5th, it's now 10:09 Eastern Time. Garrett Miller has been sitting for 40 minutes here coming into this 6th inning. So we'll see if that affects him at all. Ricky Rodriguez making way to the plate to lead things off here in the top of the 6th. Rodriguez 0 for 1 so far. Flew out in the first and walked in inning number 4. Top of the 6th, 5-0. Southern Illinois Miners lead over your Washington Wild Things in this one. Ricky Rodriguez at the plate trying to get things started here in the top. Jarrett Miller looks in, has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Rodriguez takes this one at the letters for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Wild Things DH. Ricky Rodriguez getting the DH duty today. In space, Grant Fink out there in the field. Miller has his sign, the 0-1, and Rodriguez fouls this one off, and the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. Jarrett Miller shows no strikes. Southern Illinois Fish play. No runs, 5 runs back to second, and actually as he'll just look Ricky Rodriguez back to the bag. Rodriguez on base at second base. Dave Popkins has 4. He stands at first. Miller now steps off, wants to go through the signs again with Riley Moore. A little bit of a miscommunication here between Miller. They haven't been on the same couple of pitches. Miller has his sign. He's set. Checks second and the 1-1. And Fish, a broken back grounder to third. Handled there by Marino. His only plays first. Throw over there is in time for out number 2. Meanwhile, Ricky Rodriguez moving up to third on the play, and Dave Popkins moving up to second. 2 outs, runners at second and third. That'll bring to the plate first baseman Jimmy Yezzo. So far 0 for 2, flew out in the second and struck out in inning number 4. Yezzo at the plate, second and third now with 2 outs as Zach Fish breaks his bat on that ground out, And Yezo will now try to drive in a run here in the top of the 6th. Jarrett Miller looks in. Miller has his sign. He's set. Checks Rodriguez at third. And the pitch coming. And Yezo takes this one in the inside corner for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the left-handed hitting first baseman. Yezo getting his turn out there. Logan Uxa and Jimmy Yezo have been splitting time between first base and DH. Uxa getting the night as Rodriguez in that Wild Things. Ricky Rodriguez, Dave Popkins for the one double play. And there's a runner at second. That'll bring catcher Riley Moore so far for 2, hitting to a double play his first time and singled in the 4th inning. Runner at second, nobody out. There's 2 falls on that play. Kurt Wirtz Jr. fell rounding first base, and then Chris Grayson fell trying to retrieve the ball off of the outfield wall. Colin Stanley looking in, has his sign, checks second base, and the pitch. And this up foul territory off to the right. Yezo got a chase over towards the stand. Watch this one land foul into the seats. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Moore, the catcher for the Southern Illinois Miners, thrusted into the starting duty as starting catcher Tony DeMello on the 14-day disabled list prior to the first series between these two teams at Consol Energy Park. Kurt Wirtz Jr. stands on second. Bottom of the 6th, 5-0 Southern Illinois leads this one. Colin checks Wirtz Jr. out there at second, now looks into Fish. Check to second. And this one line field, Dave Pop giving chase. He'll miss. Look, Wild Things. 3 hits today, 1 to Ricky Rodriguez, 1 to Chris Foul back to the scene. And the count walk of the day for Jim Miller, and the Wild Things have a runner on base here with 1 man out. That'll bring to the plate the shortstop, Austin Wobrock. Wobrock so far 0 for 1, walked in the 3rd and hit into a fielder's choice in inning number 5. Runner at first, 1 man out for the Wild Things against Jarrett Miller. There is action in the Southern Illinois bullpen. This one down the left field line and foul. Ball to 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Magruder drove in the first run for the Wild Things in last game with an RBI single in the 6th inning. Scored Wobrock from second after the Wild Things got their first hit of the night. 6-0 Southern Illinois leads. Jarrett Miller looks in. Miller has his sign. He's set. Checks Heck at second. And the pitch. And Magruder inside for a ball as well. Goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 here on Jamadric Magruder, reaching 10:30 Eastern time. 30 out here at... We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Wild Things baseball, currently in the top of the 7th, and the Washington Wild Things are down 6-0 to the Southern Illinois Miners. Pitching change. The Miners is now coming on to work is right-hand Kyle Tinius. Tinius enters tonight with a record of 2-0, a 2.7 E of work. Tinius has his sign set in the 1-0. And Rodriguez takes this one low in the dirt, blocked by Riley Moore, and the count swells to 2 balls and no strike. 2-0 the count. Andrew Heck on he walked with 1 out, and then Austin Wobrock singled. Jamadric Magruder popped out, and now we're here with first and second. And third, Wobrock up to second, and Ricky Rodriguez at first. That'll bring to the plate the center fielder, Chris Grayson. Grayson so far on the day is ball game. You're listening.
However,
It's a big swing and a miss there from Kennedy. And going back from the bullpen, his second full work, has 1 save on the year as he pitched the final 3 innings of things 1 and picked up a save. Stanley set. Here's the pitch to early. And this ball popped up. Foul territory. Back into the seats. Foul. Goes to 0-1 here on Nolan Early. No break. 2 men out. Bottom of the 7th. Southern Illinois leads. And Colin Stanley is clearly frustrated with how long it's taken them to get him a new baseball. Stanley barking at the home plate umpire as they've been with the Bat Boys here in Southern Illinois. As well, they're not getting the ball as fast as he wanted to, and in turn, Colin Stanley not getting them as fast as he wants them. Stan has his sign, he's set, and the 0-1. And this ball fouled back to the screen. Count goes to 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes here on Nolan Early. Early the right fielder. Colin Stanley trying to finish his 2nd full inning of work. Has gone 3rd to this point. Last 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th, and then a full inning in the 6th. There's 2 men out here in the 7th before walking Alex De Leon.
And is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred. Call Progress to the 8th.
And Popkins takes this one outside for a ball, no strike. First at bat, then was robbed on a very nice double play by here on Zach Wild Things. Ball, 1 ball sign, and this next pitch is outside for a ball, 3 balls and no strikes. You're listening to the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. We got you covered all 2016 season tonight from Rent One Park in Marion, Illinois for Game 1 of this 3-game series. DeBoo setting the pitch, and that one's on the outside corner for a strike. So 3 balls and a strike. The count now to Yezo. Yezo trying to work his way on. Chris DeBoo got the first 2 Wild Things he's faced out. He has his sign the 3-1, and that one swung on and missed by Yezo. Count goes to 2 strikes. Big hack there by Jimmy Yezo, coming up empty. Yezo has 8 home runs, current lead with Dave Popkins. DeBoo has his sign, the 3-2. And this ball popped up, on the infield. Alex Daly in, and he will call off, and he drops the ball. He lost it in the lights, overran the ball a little bit, and it ends up falling behind him. That'll be a base hit for Jimmy Yezo, the 5th hit of the day for the Washington Wild Things. He's on with 2 men out, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Grant Fink. Far 0 for 3, grounded out in first is Jimmy Yezo, and that one's outside for a balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count on Kurt Wirtz Jr., playing in his 3rd game for the Southern Illinois Miners. Out there in left field, been swinging the bat well in his early Miners career. Parrott has his sign. Here's the 2-0. And that one's outside as well. 3 straight balls from Parrott out of the bullpen. And the count goes to 3 balls and no strikes here on Wirtz Jr. Not what you wanted if you're Ashton Parrott. Down the strike zone and get your team to the bat racks in the 9th inning, down 6-0. Parrott has his sign. He's set. And the 3-0. And that one's a 4-pitch walk. And Kurt Wirtz Jr. on to lead off this bottom of the 8th against Ashton Parrott. Zach Fish going out to talk to Parrott. Now coming to the plate, catcher Riley Moore. Moore 1 for 3, hitting to a 3-6-1 double play in the 2nd, singled in the 4th, and flew out in inning number 6. The meeting on the mound's over. Ashton Parrott trying to make this a clean inning with his 6-0. Riley Moore at the runner at first. Kurt Wirtz Jr. reached base for the 4th time today, has 2 hits and 2 walks on the day. Ashton Parrott looking in. Kurt Wirtz Jr. stands on first. Parrott has his sign. He's set, and the pitch. And that one is outside. Ball, 1 ball, no strike. So 5 straight balls for Ashton Parrott out of the bullpen here, facing Riley Moore. Runner at first, Kurt Wirtz Jr. A 4-pitch walk to start this inning. Parrott has his sign. Checks first. Oh. And that one is just off the plate as well and low. Count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count. Ashton Parrott, an appearance for the Washington Wild Things. First one didn't go so well. Went 1 2/3 guns. That was against the Southern Illinois Miners, appearing again against. Parrott has his sign, the 2-0. And that one is low as well, so ball 3. 7 straight balls out of the bullpen for Ashton Parrott, and right now working himself into trouble. 3-0 the count here to Riley Moore. A 4-pitch walk to Kurt Wirtz Jr. to start this inning for the right-hander Ashton Parrott. Looks in to Zach Fish. Parrott has some of the runners to 2nd and 3rd. Things for Ashton Parrott in his 2nd appearance for the Washington Wild Things. Not going very far. 1 for 2 for 17th round of 20. Blocked Riley Moore. And a ground out by Rosario moved runners to 2nd and 3rd. Gates would walk. A wild pitch would allow Kurt Wirtz Jr. to come in. An RBI double by Shane Kennedy scored the 2nd run, and then walked Craig. And this one swung on and fouled away. Actually, Daly.
Christopher and Banks.
Going to the top of the 9th in the score. So, and your Washington Wild Things, nothing. Last inning for your Washington Wild Things. Dave Pop strikeout. Zach Fish would ground out. Jimmy Yezo would sing, and Grant Fink struck out. End the inning. Pitching change for the Southern Illinois Miners is coming into this game is number 39, Zach Cooper. Cooper on the season so far with the Miners is 0-1, 2 saves on the year at 14.21 ERA. As appearing in his 11th game, has thrown 6 1/3, giving up 10 runs, all earned on 11 hits, 11 walks, and 6 strikeouts on the year. So Zach Cooper into the game. Chris DeBoo, his final line, went an inning, did not give up a run on just 1 hit. Did not walk a man and struck out 2 batters. Then due up here to face ball, 1 ball. 8-0. Southern Illinois leading this one over your Washington Wild Things. Zach Cooper coming into the game to relieve Chris DeBoo. DeBoo went a scoreless inning, not walking anybody and striking out 2. Cooper has his joint, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on Rodriguez, the designated hitter for these Washington Wild Things. Austin Wellbrock stands 2nd, Magruder at 1st. Cooper looks in. Has his sign, he's set. And time is called as Cooper Rodriguez. Cooper looking in. 8 games, CI's pitch. And Grayson takes this one high for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Chris Grayson. Grayson, left-handed batter, facing Cooper, the right-handed pitcher. Cooper looks in to Riley Moore. Cooper has his sign. He's set. And the 1-0. And that one swung on and missed. 1 ball and 1 strike. Count even here to Chris Grayson. Woodrock, the runner at second. He reached on a fielder's choice. Jamadrick Magruder at first. He singled with 1 out in this 9th inning. Cooper looking in. Long look in. Now time is called as Riley Moore wants to go through the signs once more. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 men out here in the top of the 9th. 8-0 Southern Illinois leading. Cooper has his sign. He's set. And the 1-1 on the way. Grayson takes this one outside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count on the Wild Thing center fielder, Zach Cooper. Having to labor here through this inning. Walked the first man he faced on a 3-2 ground out. A 3-2 fielder's choice by Wobrock. A single by Magruder and a strikeout of Rodriguez. Cooper has his sign, the 2-1. And this ball fouled off. Count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 men out. Southern Illinois leading this one 8-0. Southern Illinois looking for their 5th win on the season. They're currently in first place here in the Frontier League West. Wild Things trying to get on the board here in the top of the 9th. Wobrock at second. And Jamadrick Magruder at first. Fans on their feet here at Rent One Park. Cooper has his sign. He's set. Checks Wobrock at second. And the 2-2. Ground ball to first. Handled by De Leon. He'll take it to the bag of play. Zach Fishwood winning his final line. 2 2/3. Gave up a run. It was earned on 2 hits, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Then Ashton Parrott came on to pitch the bottom. 8th is second of Wild Things. Walked Kurt Wirtz Jr. and Riley Moore to start the inning. Then Francisco Series, your Wild star of the night.